Guru Raname Aneyadaya Mi Sanje Chudan Soje Chana La Chanju Badu Dani Dagi Chujin Jebe Tonan Je Androla Benje Sanje Jo Sanje Chudan Soje Chana La Chanju Badu Dani Dagi Chujin Jebe Tonan Je Androla Sanje Jo Sanje Chudan Soje Chana La Chanju Badu Dani Yadang Zunjin Jibi Tunang Ji Androla Benji Zhangji Tuiwa Yu Ladang Lamimi Lamiyang Ji Yongbu Jajin La Zu Chu 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 La Chu Wa Che Pa Nama Sanje Sumpa Lu Zi Xin Tuiwa Juru Ju Wa Che Ta Che Che Tubi Chini Dini Diri Shi Chiri Tubi Jajin Diri Je Sabi Tui Tunjin Che Pa De La Churu Te Chung Kuwa Yi Di La Benji Jasin Se Sun Se Yi Men Di Ambi Tani Le Batu La Tuiwa Sun Yin Ji Namo Lai Kadam Tani Jinga Rubuda Lami Ganana Ruba Kunji Trana Jizam Basim Jinga Tamja Katun Dagi Che Den Do Ora So Tam Dare Dagi Tanjo Lenjik Tun Tanjo Ji Tensan Lenjik Tobi Kadi Ani Kowe Pinzola Majaba Magen Semjen Tamje Ani Kowe Nana Dunga Tunji Nyam Tapa Dinam Ani Dunga Gyudan Jewala Drawi Chidu 아니 토자라나 메바얀다바 저기 산제주 공부하는 거지 진내자 토바 차 지치도 아니 티바친 비체 생양비 그노 군제지름 바나 레버사답데 삼바르 슈
So there again we should think as follows. We think by setting our motivation for listening to the teaching, and this is done by thinking as follows. On this occasion, I have achieved an excellent, precious human life, which is endowed with all of the opportunities to practice and free of all of the impediments to practice. And so at this time, it's essential that I not be attached to the pleasures of this life, pleasures of the world. And also I should think that just as I am suffering in samsara, all other living sentient beings who have been my mothers are suffering under the control of mental afflictions, suffering by the three types of suffering. They're tormented by those, and therefore, in order to free them from those sufferings, I myself must, as quickly as possible, achieve full awakening of Buddhahood. And in order to do that, then I'm going to now listen to this instruction on the Mahayana Dharma.
Oh yeah, da kasangi xue de la, kaso re jab chi na ya xia wa se de qing can ni, da ke jin jie la, ani gun zo jia da tuan da bi jab ji, ani che ba xia ba de ma ka sa de xu cha, right?
So yesterday, then we talked a bit about the general presentation of the three precious jewels, or the three refuges, and also talked a little bit about the way those are distinguished in being the ultimate or conventional types of refuge. So then in terms of how you differentiate the conventional refuge and the ultimate refuge is distinguished by being the ultimate final destination that one is seeking through following the path. So then the conventional refuge is distinguished by being in its reality not being the ultimate final destination that one is going to through following the path. So then, in terms of the Dharma refuge, the Dharma refuge is called a conventional Dharma refuge. In terms of, we're thinking of it in terms here of the scriptures, which are composed of words, nouns, verbs, words, composed of letters and Such. That is not the ultimate final refuge, Dharma refuge. So we need to distinguish here between the scriptures, the scriptural Dharma, which is contained within the continuum of a Buddha, which consists also of sentences and words and letters, and is divided up into 12 subdivisions. We need to differentiate that Dharma of the scriptures from the Dharma of scriptures, which is contained within the continuum of someone who is on the path of training. So then, what do we mean by someone who is training? It refers to someone who is, in order to achieve their ultimate goal or destination, they're practicing the path according to the types of practices that are specific to that kind of path. So then we distinguish between those that are training on the path, that are utilizing the methods of which the path consists, so as to accomplish their ultimate goal. We distinguish those who are training from the Aryas and so forth, who are training, from those who are not training because they've achieved their ultimate objective, and thus they can give up the methods that got them there. So in terms of trainees, those who are training on the path, we have to differentiate them in that group, those who are the Aryas and those who are ordinary individuals. So then, someone who's training in the path, if they're on the first two of the 5 paths, the path of accumulation and the path of preparation, because they haven't achieved the path of seeing, the true path. Therefore, they're still ordinary individuals, and they're designated as ordinary types of practitioners or people who are training. Therefore, the scriptures, which are contained within such individuals, whether they're ordinary individuals or Aryas, are not the ultimate. The Pakpamayimba. Therefore, it's said that the people who are training on the path, including the Aryas who are training on the path, the scriptures which they have within their continuums are not the final refuge.
Surab Teta Juji Ten Tatuba don't Toba Tisana, Lundumba Toba Tatubi Sena, Ani Tenda Surab the Azua Danger Teta, sing that Pamachawa Imba.
Therefore, those scriptures which they have within them, which they have within their continuums, those things are methods and
去他爬入了清的要去爬入的来人呢俺出生了出电轨啊嘛的话我谈那些以前呢俺龙的王八多把他都被拆了俺生的俺帮我瞧啊一般呢俺过了他都给讲嘛的送过来
So therefore, the meaning of the subject matter of those scriptures within their continuums, once they achieve the end of their path, and they reach their goal, then that meaning, which in the training phase is to be abandoned, similar to the way that one abandons a ship when one's crossed over the ocean, one leaves it behind.
人家这些把你全那么跟圣诞节哇，你都得多的建议告诉，虽然这个自己听写呗，俺那弄的我把都把他都把提前呐，俺那圣诞节帮我吃完的，这些把你全那个圣诞节哇，你都得都是俺。
So then there's a verse from the ornament for the scriptures which says this exact thought, that the meaning of the scriptures when one has completed their aim are to be treated like a boat.
다들 가서를 방식을 세야지. 아니 루루지지 수라야라 중이데 타도 잠에 봐서 많이 봐대 좀 나방 루이 최전 시리즈 당원 쉬워 나신 전에 다 로베 남된 로베 규지 남된 대다 타도 그잠 다 많이 봐기 군자들라 랑게 생활하니 참 타다단 차완 나양 아니 라니 참 타다단 마자베 아니 좀 루이 최전 인배 아니 다도 그냥 말해. 나 당고 직친사를
So therefore, then we have to be careful and say that the dharma, the scriptural dharma, which is contained within the continuum of a Buddha, that is not to be abandoned. Whereas that the scriptural dharma, which is contained within the continuum of someone who's training on the path, that form of it is to be abandoned like a boat. Then the next point is that in terms of the Dharma of realization, the Dharma of understanding, then there's two aspects of that as well. And as we said yesterday, the Dharma of realization, which is which is under
Raniki Singuru Timatata Trawa Nayang Timatata Majabiki Zimbalu Chechere
Raniki Singola
Timatata Trawa Nayang
Topa
Lamdent Lubi Lamdent Lubi Lamdent
Lobue
Loba Pabi Lamdent.
So then also to reiterate what we said yesterday, the true path, which is within the continuum of someone who's training on the path, that true path is not the ultimate realization, dharma of realizations. The reason for this is that within the perspective of that of such knowledge, Singula
Timatata Trawa Nayang
even though within the perspective of that realization, it appears as if it is separated from all of the defilements. It's actually not free of all the defilements, separated from all the defilements.
Oi, Digi Rangi Singo Timatata Trawa Nayang Timatata Majabi Zimbalu Chechen Yimbe Ani Tatuki Jamaimba Jubara Mado Zimbalu Chechen Yimbe Tatuki Jamaimba Jubamare.
So this kind of knowledge or realization, because from that point of view that it's still contaminated by the defilements, although it appears within its own perspective as if it was free from the defilements, therefore it's a false, deceptive Chuchin Saudi Chuchin
Rangi Singo Timatata Trawa Nayang Timatata Majabi Zimbalu Chechen Zimba Chechen Sena Zumba Resgore Zumba Resgore
Okay.
Zumba Lu Resgore.
So it's a false or deceptive property or thing, because it appears as if it's within its own perspective, as if it was free from the defilements, yet it still has the defilements. Therefore, it's not the ultimate refuge, and we specify it in that way. However, to say that anything that is false and deceptive is necessarily not Zumba Lua Yina.
Zimbalu Chechen Rangi Singo Timatata Trawa Nayang Timatata Majabi Zimbalu Chechen Yimbe Tatuki Jamares. Tedruare Mado Zimbalu Chechen Yimba Zamji Tatuki Jamayimba Tugu.
However, you can't say that simply being something which is false or deceptive is necessarily not the ultimate refuge.
Oh yeah, these are Zimbalu Chechen Yimba Zamji, Ani Tatuki Jamayimba Druguna, Ani Sanje Suguni, Longitude Gudang, Drugunia, Zimbalu Chechen Re, Ani Tatuki Jamayim Taviwa. Number Tavi Chimbi Sheyang, Ani Terra, Zumbarwa, Teang, Ani Tatuki Jamayimba Taviwa.
Number Tamchi Kibi So the reason for this is that if that were the case, that something which is false and deceptive was necessarily not the ultimate refuge, then the undesirable consequence would obtain that even such things as the physical embodiments of Buddhahood, the Sambhogakaya and Nirmanakaya, those would not be the ultimate refuge. And likewise, even omniscience itself would not be the ultimate refuge, because it too is a false, deceptive thing.
Oh yeah, 忘记律缺陷其实谈不得了，你弄个缺的，老外就弄个缺的，你话得了老外蓝的，然后老外蓝的的缺陷，蓝的的，你看的他都个讲马人的，什么当结为那个来，什么当成为那个相对就归为没大把人比，没大把人长，他都个讲马的，然。
Then also, with respect to that realization, a dharma of realization, which exists within the continuum of someone who's training on the path, it's not the ultimate refuge because it's well, tamadi, tama.
我的罗威南的他都给讲马的，他都给讲马一把开的人噻。罗威南的什么的结尾呢？什么的结尾？你什么着啊？什么的结尾那个来？什么的差别那个相对就归为给没大把印象。
So the reason why the realizational dharma, the true path, I should say, within the continuum of someone who's training is not the ultimate refuge, is because even though it appears as if it is free of the defilements, it in actuality has the defilements, possesses the defilements. Therefore, that situation in which it still possesses defilements has to be gone beyond, has to be progressed beyond towards the ultimate destination.
我的这话呢，没大把军政国的，其他没大把人把怎么的，他都加一嘛，人把做过嘛的，是吧？他今天哪新鲜的？人家没大把国外的，什么当结为那个嘞，什么当调为那个相对就是国外给没大把的啦。
So likewise, it says in the text that this true path in the continuum of someone who's training has the fault permanent. What's referring to here in the impermanence of it means that it's not the final stable thing, but that on that occasion it's something which has to be gone beyond, has to be yeah.
Oh yeah, that teacher la, 他们讲的是，东阿就碰碰他们没被讲的是。他们讲的是了，鸡蛋做大忙不要的，他立刻都得，东阿就碰碰他们没被讲的是呢，他们个当我说不是虚伪吧，他们也是个啦，东阿就碰碰他们的这嘛这个过年讲的上来的，我们让就比如了马下个的，是吧？一张这种他妈他把的东阿就碰碰他们的这话是，我儿老怕比具体3,000年人就碰不的。越新都，这种拖把印章，我的是3,000年里碰不动，就碰不了。这种拖把印章，这种拖的上吧，人就帮吧，国单的拖过来，是吧？人就帮吧，这种拖的上吧，用比这把他们家帮吧，国单就拖过来，是吧？用比这把他们家帮吧，国单就要的话。这种他妈他都拖不过来，这种拖把，你们比这把帮吧的拖把推娘的，是吧？现在你们比这么这把帮吧的，我嘛，那边光他们给那个给碰不给人家起码，东阿就碰不他妈的结话给娘的，东阿就碰不他妈的有话一张，碰不的有话一张，娘的得了，你东阿就碰不他妈的结为娘的是个的。好过算，对吧？当然，人家光让把这个年毛比年不我也怕见买那么菜的， 아니 녀몽 빵바탕 다좀 더봐 튀냐래 다년에 다좀봐 그봐 년된 다좀봐 톱지 잠봐 녀몽 빵비 빵바 고단데 더봐래 예 녀몽 빵비 빵바 고단데 더봐래 야 다좀봐 더봐다 튀냐도 그봐 하고서
인도 방비 방바
인도 방비 방바데 방바 인도 방비 방바데 그봐 진지 방바데 가설에서나 동아지 풍부 사마다 제비 냥대리 그봐 냥대스를 가라 가르를 쓰고서는 고단들만 거야 말이 고단들이 그봐 냥대스나 고단들은 인도 방비 방바 대라 고단스 거래 대 냥대스 거래 냥대스 거래 그래서
람네라 ngela topsunga
대 다좀 터바단 튀념 터고 하르디
그래
다좀 터바다 다좀 터바 인주방배 방바도 터바
그래
밀로람 터바
그래
랑기den지 가사데 다좀 바지 이름으로와 튀념 버리
그래
엘디랍다 안가라.
Okay, so to break this down, I'm sorry, I'm struggling here getting handle on this. An arhat, when they achieve nirvana, final nirvana, then they achieve nirvana lakmenyangde.
하만이도 토야 마셔야 된다. 딱 된다는 학자스러와 동아지 풍부 말하는 풍부 사만자 자세 그 단디 풍부대단 제위 강에 풍부디联系유 아니 당증도 먹지 당증 말을 바길래 죄위 영원 비트바 탐자 빵바당 다좀 더바래
lakmenyangde
라면한테 말이다 담을 다좀
그둑스
자자 토마 통했습니다 담보 토마타 줘라
팍파 토마
아니 다좀 자진에 된다 뒤나서 람 광람 세도와 초람 조람 통람 광람 되니 밀로람 세가라 다좀 그람데라 봐. 단 니니 광람 세대 뒤가라 광람기 깨지 탐마태기 가지 지고와래서나 녀모 밑바기 문이 바제 말람데 지고와래. 그래. 다 되니 병원에 바제 말람 치니 녀모 밑바 빵바탕 다좀톱 그래 다좀톱 밀러람톱 밀러람톱 딘디 가사 지와라 딘디 가사 다좀바 지와라 딘디 다좀바 되기 아마 그 고람비 풍부 코랑 여와래 동아지 풍부 삼 코랑 풍부도 여와이자 동아지 풍부 삼마다 제비냐데스 그지지 고된데 동아지 풍부 삼마다 제비냐데스
디치 남샤 여봐 디치 남샤 락치라메 아니 친남샤 여러봐
나 지치는 라자라면 치스나
말에 디 남샤티
랑기베
So as far as the distinguishing between the nirvana which has remainder and nirvana which does not have remainder, nirvana without remainder, the way that this is presented within the Swatantrika school is such that when a person enters into the path and then goes through the first two stages of the path of preparation, path of accumulation, the path of preparation, enters into the path of seeing and the path of meditation. During the course of the path of meditation, they still have aggregates, the personality aggregates, which are the result of karma and the disturbing emotions. So during that period, they achieve cessations, which are the eliminations, the abandonment of some portion of the mental afflictions and so forth. So that time, those cessations are true cessations, and likewise would be called a type of nirvana cessation which has remainder. The remainder here referring to the aggregates themselves. So there's that remainder is the remainder of the aggregates. Then when they go to the end of that kind of path and they reach the end of the path of meditation, and they reach the final phase of that, the uninterrupted path, at the end of the path of meditation. Then they, at that time, they are getting rid of all the last remainder of the aggregates, which are the result of karma and the mental afflictions. And therefore, when they, at the next moment, after that uninterrupted path at the end of the path of meditation, they achieve arhatship. They are arhats, worthy ones, or photistor, as this gets translated. And they are also, they achieve the path of no more learning, no more training, and they also, and simultaneously, they achieve nirvana that has no more remainder. The remainder being here the aggregates left over.
Oh yeah, that 좀 토마 타바티 가라 아니 학자바 시가래 와 학자냐 학자바 그 주지냐데 되라야 학자냐데 학자바 세우 가르잖아 너마기 풍부되다 제와 인장 학자하마다 제와 풍부된 하반의 제와 인장 그 주지냐데 되라야 학자냐데
excuse me, I have to qualify that. The nirvana which they achieve in that last lifetime, while they are still alive, is still a nirvana with remainder. They have gotten rid of. They still have the remainder or residue of the aggregates which were produced by previous karma and mental afflictions. So that nirvana is called nirvana with remainder.
No, that henry Sakjabagi Dajombate. Nama Lani Pambe Pumbo de that Tawa de Karichugore and Tawa de Lani Pambe Pumbo de Nimbi Dobji Memachagamari. Rawa. Mama Lani Pumbo Juarwa, or Konyimbi Doji Panguamari. Wana Karere Sana Korang Ani Kasare Chipedi. Can Hajabadi Chipedi, Kasanshuan Nashin Jerry, Ani Tabe Shindu, Bemen Busu Yuji Rashin Liu Lande. Liu Lang Batang Ani Tendraving Amagan Dajon Badi. Tabe to Bemen Pusuji Rashin Liu Lambi, Dajon Bate, Dajon Hameba, Singatreta, Namakitungaji Pumbo Tetan Tadi, Yiji Rashin Gilu, Bemen Pusuji Rashin Gilu, Lemba Inzang, Rawa, Monum Lemba Inzang, Tendi Juju got Dajon Batean, Dungaji Pumbo Hamatan Tra. T Juju Guadantian, Dungaji Pumbo Hamatan Trawa Inzang. Hamen des, Sakujan did it. Dungaji Pumbo.
Lachebati,
Tajabati Chipedi, which to Jetandi, which to Jetan and a Chipedi. And it habits into Bemen Pusu Yiranshi Lile. Roa, Ujiran Samba, the Nintendo or Dragon Body, Hamed Dragon Bachawari.
Yiranshi Nunkun Ki
Lantani. Yiranshi Lu and Batang, and a Yiranshi Lu Tobatang, and a Kansa de Dragon Bachawa. Hamed Drajomba. Could Gila, Dungaji Pumbo Hama Meba, Nama Pumbo Yama, Leni Pan Pumboti. Meba Yizan, Gordon, could you Gordon de la Hamen Des?
Kurgugi Gokden. So then that Arhat, who's achieved nirvana in that last life, which is the result of the karma and the mental afflictions, they achieve complete cessation of karma and disturbing emotions, but they haven't separated themselves from the aggregates that are the product of previous karma and disturbing and mental afflictions. So then that person, when at the end of that lifetime, they don't give up those those residual contaminated aggregates by the force of the antidote, but rather they transmigrate the 문람기 톱기 지프. So by the force of their prayer and their roots of virtue, they transmigrate such that they are reborn into a pure land, pure field, inside of a lotus flower, and the body which they have in that lifetime is, or that new life, is a body which has the nature of mind. Body which has the nature of mind. So that body is, because it's not the product of the karma and the mental afflictions, is therefore and the true path which is within the continuum of such a person, an arhat born in the Pure Land, is called a nirvana without remainder. Here, meaning that the remainder of the aggregates, which are the product of karma and mental disturbing mental afflictions, has been gotten rid of.
Oh yeah, that would tend to use how many days that didn't want to go at it. There was how many days at it. Or tend to use how many days the church and public that judging between how many days the church turned to be jam my indi, Nimonda Dunga, Meba Samjet of the Shava in Bichers.
So therefore, it's here it's explained that that kind of nirvana without remainder within the continuum of an arhat of that type is not the ultimate refuge. Because it's only distinguished by being the mere pacification, total pacification of the because it's the simple mere pacification, total pacification of the mental afflictions and suffering. So then, when we're talking about what's the distinctive feature of nirvana with remainder, it's that there's still some remainder of the aggregates which are produced by disturbing emotion, mental afflictions, and which are under the controlled by suffering. And then, in the case of the nirvana without remainder, it's the separation from those aggregates. So there, and when it says that it's merely a pacification, or merely distinguished by that kind of pacification, then that implicitly indicates that such a person is still subject to the fear, which is the fear of the obscurations which prevent omniscience. So there's an example which is given here, just like when a lamp is extinguished, it doesn't simchinki tsok.
마음에 균체바 신도 semjengi chola mipi nawa tamja numne
심진기
chola mipi
솔로몬페
nawa tamja numne
나와 탐지
numne 아니 시위도 바시라 냐바 슈바오
So just di comment di
시위도 바시라 냐바 슈바오
di cosa
di ana 자다 마보 자야 라 디자서들라 마보 자고도 사 다 마음에 시와다 마음에 시와다 나 마음에 귀차바 신도 세가라 마음에 귀차바 치도 세가라 마음에 신이가라 랑게 진짜 귀여 말아와 그래봐 난 디자주 잠바 단다 준다 오마 가산 시와나 저럽지 시가라 치람마와 아니 롱기 제랑 그 쌈잠바 타도 티바숨도 주었던 게 대다기 화면 양대 토지 잠바 다진 대답 문자와 풍부 균체 시가래 라 마음에 시와나서 풍부 균체 라 풍부 균체 일바 균체 인바시 류와래 시와래 인바시
So the basic text here says that that when an arhat enters into that kind of nirvana without remainder, that just like a lamp, which is when it's extinguished, it no longer illuminates the darkness of the host of living beings, of sentient beings. It's because it's merely absorbed into the sphere of peace. Then there's different ways to explain what's the connotation here. According to the lower schools of Buddhist philosophy, the Dodebatan Cherak. So according to the Vaibhashikas and the Yogacharas who follow or mind-only school that follows scripture, then the Arhat who follows this kind of path and achieves this kind of nirvana without remainder, the Pumpu Gyun Rikta.
Pumpu Lama Dang Java, Yandi Drajum Tajin Nashi Toma Tapa Tela, Pumpu Lama Yoare. 풍부 요아래 대내 양알에 대디가라 풍부 하마 요아마리 풍부 주차바리 리바 주차바리 시가리.
So according to this system, then they say that the arhat in the earlier part of their life after they've achieved nirvana, or when they've achieved nirvana, that the part of the life which is remaining is a nirvana with remainder, and then at the end of that life there's a complete severance of the continuity of the aggregates, and therefore there's a severance of the continuity of that similar type of thing.
다 대멤버 란지바기 대단데 풍보단 제와당 풍보사만 매봐 세디 가서 다 준비 아니 연유지 왕그 풍보 대단 제와당 아니 풍보사만 봐 다시 쉬어야 돼.
So then the second way of talking about this is what we just explained in terms of the arhat having the aggregates which are produced by karma and mental afflictions, and then existing in the Pure Land without those kinds of aggregates, and therefore being without the remainder of those contaminated aggregates. That's the Swatantrika Madhyamika position. Therefore, according to the Vaibhashikas and these lower schools of Buddhist philosophy, then our Buddha Shakyamuni, his aggregates were just like ours. So they would say then that the aggregates of Shakyamuni are not Sangyamare. Are not Buddha. The aggregates of the Buddha are not Buddha.
Sanja Karire Sana, Sanja Gunjola Karichawarasana, Sanja Gundi Chebeche, Milowata Igadans, Sanja Chebi Cheche, and the Tuji Sabata Mijewachi Yishiti, Sanjare. Roma Gundi Singata, Gundi Chebi Cheche, Same Gilamde, and Gundire, Paber Kansa Dang, Sanja Gisubung, Sanja Mare. Pabe Kansa Dang, no Pabe Kansa Dang, Sanja Gisubung, no Pabe Kansa Lamde Mare, Chokujo Mare, Gundukujo Mare, and it in Tanajani, Sanja Pabagi, Ukusu, Sanja Mare.
Lamden and Gopa.
Oh, Lamden. Sanja Wakaresana, Sabata, Mijewa Shibi, Yishi, Sanja Chipi, Cheji, Korang, Sanja Koma Tobare, Sabata, Mijewa Shibi, Yishi Toba Yinzang, Anekola, Kasore, Sanja Koma Toba, Sejuarwa, Sanja Chibi, Chejo, Dirimando, Pumbo, Dumadembangandu Chibare.
So according to this school, then the actual Buddha is the gnosis which understands the extinction of the defilements and zepatang, and which knows that they will not arise again. That gnosis is the essential characteristic of a Buddha, whereas the physical form of the Buddha or the other aggregates of a Buddha are not the actual Buddha jewel. And the same thing applies to the Arya Sangha as well. The Arya Sangha jewel is not the persons, the aggregates of the persons who have achieved the level of being an Arya, but rather it refers to the truth of the path and the true cessation that those persons have actualized.
Ani Pumbo Lama Benyang Daddy Indicana, Ani Sanja by Jun Chabatan, Pumbo Jun Chabat Delware.
So then, according to this school, the Vaibhashika school, when a Buddha enters into final nirvana, that final nirvana is such that there's a severance of the continuity of that person's aggregates, and Pumbo Hamalan Chibi, Lama Mebi, Sangye Yongsu Nyangan Dena. The continuity of the aggregates, the continuity of that stream of similar phenomena is completely severed.
What did you do, Gala? Ani Sanja, you combine Toya, Udela, Gajin Tamism, the Sosa. Sosa ni, Ani Sanja, you combine Tony, Ani Gunglo Jajul Mashua, Ani Judan Revenue, the Bear Hanson Sherad to Tendrik, you are wrong with Nazara. In the Korangi, you are a young boy, the Karansana, Tutatela, Jewaji Len Sijala, Lenu, Jawa Mando. Molam Gawaki Jawa Lambata, some seem to Jawa Lambata. What Tindigi, Nazu John Moduva Yezang, and a touch tendency Korangi to touch all that in the Chochore. Jawachi Lindu Zamba, Lejawangi Jawa Mado, Molam Jawangi Jawata, some seem to call Jawa Lambata, Tindi John Moduva Yezang, Ani Jumden there, with the Dujetani, Pumbo Junchaba Mado. Ani Kasore, Tendegi, Jawashian, but they took a money.
So then according to this system, there's no way to establish birth other than by having it occur due to the power of karma and mental afflictions. Therefore, even in the case of our Buddha Shakyamuni, his birth was also due to the force of karma and disturbing emotions, and therefore they don't have any system of positing birth by the force of prayer or according to one's wishes. And therefore, even Buddha Shakyamuni, when he was born in that way by karma and disturbing emotions, and then likewise, when he passed away, that was the stoppage or severance of the continuity of that stream of aggregates.
람당 제위 내갑데 아버지 시에서나 아니 권에 콘도 타르타 권에 콘 주다 고만 남자랑라 아니 텔레 배 제바도 파데 타르 아니 단주르고 되주디 아버지 시어와
So therefore, in order to understand how each of these different systems of presenting these kinds of tenets or doctrines is established in its own right, and then understanding how you have to understand how each of them individually sets forth these things so as to be able to ascend from one system to the next system, and then also to be able to understand finally the most superior system of the Prasangika Madhyamika.
대해서 마음의 시비 내 뺄자야 돼. 다 다시 시원을 체라마와라 소와기 대다기 풍부 주의체바 풍부 주의론이 풍부 마음의 시원하지 풍부 매발라 아차. 다 란지빌로라 풍부 마음의 시원 끝나와 돼. 동아지 풍부 나와 매발라 아차. 그러 동아지 풍부 매치. 동아지 풍부 주의체발라 아차.
So therefore, in the lower systems of philosophy, this example that we gave of when the arhat enters into nirvana without remainder, being like a lamp which is extinguished, the lower systems would explain it as given below, and then in the prasangika system, what that says, what that's understood, it's interpreted as that the tangi ranglula
동아지 품비 나와 매봐 동아지 품보 다차와
is that
동아지 품보 단차와 나와 매봐
is that it's explained not as the severance of the continuity of that person, but rather that it's the lack of any kind of appearance of the aggregates, which are the suffering aggregates. Yeah. Oh, sorry. Thank you. I'm sorry. That was from the Swatantrika position point of view, not the Prasangika.
다 단단히 되라잖아. 마음의 시와 신도 아니 섬쟁그 초바다 미베 나와 타자 누와 세대 다 탄주를 자디 잡아. 다 가산 당고섭지 시와 임바. 오마기 르라 삭제냥대내라 톰네 하면냥대 제라 토기와레스 데카레레사 동아지 풍포 하마다 제비냥대 땡에라 도네 동아지 풍포 하마다 차유냥대 제라 토기와레스 저봐
So if we're going to explain these two types of nirvana that has remainder and nirvana without remainder, from the point of view of the Prasangika school, we talked about this briefly yesterday. And
that 탄주일로라 대담 민자와 사제단 하미기 체바카레서나 대난기 하마다 자와 와 덴두기 나와기 하마다 자와다 덴두기 나와기 하마다 자와라 사제냐 대당 덴두기 나와 메비냐 대대라 하메냐 대 쇼거레
So in the Prasangika system, nirvana with remainder and nirvana without remainder are distinguished in this way. A nirvana dendrupki nangwa tangche.
Dendrupki nangwa da che nyande tela. Dendrupki nangwa che sana kare sana rang yule dembe kansa tela dendrupki nangwa yo. Nangwa dendrupki nangwa ko lo ngju de yana. Dendrupki nangwa da che nyande re. Rang nyande de yule dengen ki kansa tela dendrupki nangwa ngju de me dendrupki nangwa lo ngju wa mena. Ani denagi hama maybe nyande re.
So then the way it's differentiated, these two are differentiated in the Prasangika school, is that the nirvana... Prasangika? No. Tangyuelu.
Yeah.
So the way that this is, these two are differentiated in the Prasangika school is that the nirvana with remainder, the with remainder here refers to possessing the appearance of things as being real, things being real, whereas the nirvana without remainder is without that kind of appearance of things as being real. And this is referring to within a person who is understanding things, if there's an appearance of things as being, if they've achieved some kind of nirvana, then if that nirvana has some kind, that cessation has an appearance of things as being real, then it's a cessation or nirvana which is with remainder. Whereas if it's cessation which doesn't have that appearance of things as being real, then it's a cessation without remainder.
아니 덴지 가진 미모부 문이 전에 관람 타마티기 아니 다좀 토마토디 가라 혼냠샤이시리 돈이를 제주도 냠바샤베 냠샤이시 와 고란 다좀 토바당 아니 주니를 제주도 냠바샤베 냠샤이시 돈이 냠샤이시 냠샤 되기 생오라 마음에 시와 나신 아니 semjen기 초당 semjen기 초라 미비 나와 탐제 넘네 아니 가소리 동안이 영월 시위 니시 세게 아니 동반이라 제주도냐 바샤베 시위 대와 영화라 아니 뒤뒤 잡아 하면야다 다부터 와래 아메바 거기 가니잖아 그 여기 농문주와데 돈용 무슨도 또 별로디와 마마디와 말이 돈용 무슨도 또 별로데라 된주가 나와요 말이 로만주와 사메
디 통남이
토마타바 쓰긴다. 토놈 쓰기면다. 좀 토마타바.
좀 토마타바.
좀 토마타바. 고람네 고람기 타마라 아니 밀로람 좀 토그러와.
밀로람.
밀로람 좀 토그러와. 좀 토마타바데 다 하메기. 하메바. 규규지 냥데데 하메냥데. 그러와 그 인고가 간데레서나 동발한 제주도 냠바샤바 가사인바. 냠샤디기 시용을 군속이 나와 semjengi chotamjeki nawa nuba.
So, therefore, to explain the nirvana without remainder first, nirvana without remainder here is illustrated by a person who's following the path and achieves the state of an arhat. When they first achieve arhatship, right after the end of the path of meditation, they achieve that path of no more training. When they achieve that arhatship, that direct perception of emptiness is devoid of any kind of appearance of things as being real, and therefore that kind of realization is explained as being similar to a lamp which has been extinguished doesn't illuminate the darkness of sentient beings. The analogy here is that understands emptiness without any kind of dual appearance, and therefore without any appearance of things as being real. Therefore, there's no appearance of any kind of conventionalities within that knowledge, that cognition.
Oh yeah. 인당 사면년대 내가 톱 사제 제를 도시체, 그렇죠?
So therefore, they achieve the nirvana without remainder first, and the nirvana with remainder subsequently.
다 뒤제라 지금 매지 지단 제미칠 세들 매칠 세디 다다 뒤체 사면년대라 내비년대 사면년대디 타도 그 잠마인디 녀몬다 동아 녀와시 가서 녀와시와 잠지랍지 쳐와 임비칠 세대체 다 뒤제라 찬스사 주와와당 아니 녀랑 다좀 받대다 아니 다 타도 그 잠마인디 시르 그 주바다 제위칠 성무스 거서 뒤에 말해
So then
차 타더라 방지 누이 최전치 매지 직단 제위치.
So the verse here that we're discussing is number 20, where it says, because it's to be abandoned, because it's a thing which is deceptive, because of not existing, and because of being together with still having fear, these two types of dharma, as well as the host of aryas, is not the ultimate refuge. So we've discussed up to Jigdan Chevichir.
Jigdan Chevichir, Shasamsa Juwada, Yaran Rajabateda, Taduki Jamaindi, Shidiki Jubata Chevichir.
So where it says they still possess, because they still possess fear, here that's in reference to that the Aryas who are on the Bhagavad so that those who are on the path of training, the Aryas of the Shravaka and Pratyeka Buddha path, as well as Bodhisattvas up to through the 10th stage, they still have the obscurations which prevent omniscience. Therefore, they're still subject or have this kind of fear.
아니 또비치에다라 람덴당 오대니 유비나네 로에주지 람덴 타두기 잠마이 바투베티체 아니 아서 고덴데라 사면이냐데 타두기 잠마이 바쳐야지 저르체 최남 이당 어거서 최제도
So where it says the two types of dharma are not the ultimate final refuge, and that's referring then to the two forms of the dharma of the scriptural transmission, and the dharma of understanding or realization. As we explained, then the dharma of the scriptural transmission is not the ultimate refuge when it exists within the continuum of aryas and so forth, and the dharma of realizations is also not the ultimate refuge in the way that we explained above.
저는 이다 파베초 세가 파베데 사주와와다 야란 자chuẩn bị 소태다. 타두기 잠마인데
And then, so likewise, the host of aryas is not the final ultimate refuge because it still possesses that host of aryas, the aryas of the Shravaka and Pratyeka Buddha path and bodhisattvas up to the 10th stage. Also, they still have the fear, which is here glossed as the obscurations which are prevent omniscience. So, therefore, all of these, the two types of dharma and the realization, the real dharma of the scriptures and the dharma of the realizations, which exist within the continuum of aryas, those are not the ultimate refuge, but or the final or the ultimate refuge. But you have to say that they are nevertheless they are the conventional refuge.
Oh yeah, that did that tattoo with them where soon had la Tabi turned to draw Jamie Sanja Yaji to a church of Gujanji, Sojante Tatu Chil, said Digi, Annie Trishu Digi, Annie Tatu with them where so.
So then verse 21 says, let's see. Ultimately, the refuge of transmigrating beings is just the Buddha. Because the sage has the body of doctrine and is the ultimate for the community.
Oh yeah, draw Namji is Tabi turned to draw is draw Namji, Annie Tabi turned Tabi Jamni. Ani Sanja Yachi Re, Tabi turned to draw Jamni Sanja Yachi.
The first two lines again say, from the ultimate perspective, the refuge of transmigrating beings is solely the Buddha.
Oh, that is Gunzela, to a church of Gujan Chil, Serigana, to a Sanja Jumden there. Ani Jiba Tamjang Sebi, Ani Chugunya Jan Imbichi, Chugunya Kansan, Chugunya Jan Imbichi, Never Jendi, Chugun Toby Kansam, Chugun Toby Kansa Imbichi.
The reason for this is that Buddha Bhagavan is the sole refuge for all transmigrating beings. Is that it says the Buddha possesses the body of the Dharma. A Buddha is free from all fear also.
Right.
Sure.
To a church of Gujanchi.
That's the reason why the Buddha is the unique ultimate refuge, final refuge.
Oh, Jeva long Miduva Chindu, Jibadan Jevi Kansaki, Ani Jibatadala Jom Muguba, Jom Minuba Yinzang, Ani Sanje Jibatadala, Chawajugova Yida, Rawa, Jiba maybe combine Yebi, Ani turned a bit up to Ribishel. Jiba Tamjadan Chayo combine Yeba Yinzang, Ani Tatu Javam turned a bit up to Ani George Gray.
So the Buddha is the final ultimate refuge because the Buddha has accomplished the state which is free of all fear, has gone beyond any form of all fear whatsoever.
Oh yeah. That digi ani jomden de tadu jam to damba imbare.
So this shows that the Bhagavan is the ultimate refuge. The
jomden de rani jiba tada la chasing, xian jiba le trovi tala kaiba. Ani zimjian gun la ani zawa niji chimbu nime nire me ba juba. Ani ran la pen dam 따와다 마다와 마인바 팬다 마다지 아니 퇴원탐제 주바 체바 인장 아니 다 타도 그 잡라 산제냐치
The Buddha is the sole refuge because the Buddha has gone beyond all fear him or herself and is also therefore able to provide others with freedom from fear, is skilled in the methods for establishing others in the fearless kind of state. And likewise, a Buddha has great compassion, which doesn't differentiate between those who are beneficial to him or her. Doesn't make any judgment about whether someone is helpful or not, and helps all people regardless of that characteristic.
투바 최주 구전 7일 초장대의 타도 7일에는 안에 대바 숨지 파베 소장 죽으나바 다바 타도바 안에 토바 유에 죽으나바 토베 안에 람타치바 주와나 안에 타도기 잡도 조그레스 타도기 잡도 모르와 소장대의 타도 7일
나 공다
와 티바숨지 파베 가사요 와 어디바숨에 파베 가사고 도장 추구 남바 다바 타도바 토바 타르치바 디체나 아니 타도고 잡고 그래서
So likewise, the Buddha is the ultimate refuge in the sense that, such a person who's obtained this kind of body of dharma is such that they serve as the final ultimate refuge for those who are following the paths of any of the three vehicles.
오윤나들라 남지 잡아 타투비 잡대라 퇴나비 잡다 오윤나들라 남지 잡아 타마두비 잡대라 어느 군조비 잡지 다디 군조비 잡다 퇴나비 잡아셔봐 두소해 말.
So this is the basic explanation then of how one distinguishes the specific characteristics of the ultimate refuge and the conventional refuge or the final refuge and the temporary refuge from the point of view of whether or not it's the ultimate destiny of somebody who is traversing along the path. That which is then the ultimate or final refuge, whereas that which is not that type is only a conventional or temporary refuge.
가서 림보체라나 시와기 드라주나 다데 림보체당 군조니가라 주바이장 군조의 주요 왕도 채나 아니다 군조그 자전 차바텔라 중화군지 팀메치 투den치당 기den지 견주치나 초니지 주원메지 군조니 세대기 아니 군조그 자전 차바티 말.
Then comes the explanation of the meaning, explaining the meaning of the name jewel. Jewel here is being translating the Sanskrit word ratna. Ratna, or here refers to generally to that which is precious. Things which are extremely precious. So this kind of precious, the fact that it is precious is expressed by means of different properties that it shares with jewels or precious things in general. And then these are listed, enumerated in verse 22, where it says, because they appear only rarely, because they're without defilement, because they have power, because they have efficacious ability or power, and because they are ornaments for the world, and because they are foremost, and because they are without any change, they're unchanging, then it is the jewel or most the rare precious one itself. The Tibetan word kunchok is broken into rare and precious.
Oh yeah, that is a Juma Gunji, say Gala, and this I just didn't do Juma Gumba. Didn't do Juma Gumba.
So the quality, where the first quality of being rare, that refers to the fact that the Buddha appears only rarely in the world. That a Buddha jewel appears in the world only rarely.
Oh, I usually say didn't do Gumba, Juma Gunji, Juma Gunji, Timish, Sirigala, and a Rangi Medici, Chima maybe chin. 아니 랑그 미디초지 아니 처마 매봐 인장 랑그 데데 미주바기 녀와 매봐
데데기 녀와
데비테 미주바기 녀와 매봐 중화 근지 치매시르 중화 근지 다지체 아니 치매시르 세가라 미디초지 처마 매비치 아니 랑그 데베테 미주바기 녀와 매봐
So then the second quality of being without defilement, this refers to being free from, separated from anything which is contrary to it, which is the opposite of it, which would prevent it from achieving whatever one wishes.
투대치당 세가나 랑신지 등이 필수 소원 주박이 아니 누와단 댐비칠 아니 연대 쳐봐.
So it has then because of possessing power or efficacious ability, that refers to the Buddha's having accomplished the ability or power to be able to affect the aims of both oneself and others.
라샤지 twin and that chawa chat. Juma Guji Chimichi Tudan Chidang say anywa Genju Chir Serigana Jidenji Gendu Chuichi Ani Rashan La Pandoba Chawa.
So then the fourth quality is that it functions as a jewel for the world. This refers to the nature, that its nature is something that naturally is beneficial.
Oh yeah, ane kasore tudenchida genjuchi gentudenchida genjuchi ra 중화군지 틈에 투den전 genju치나 총이도 시야고 genju치나 총이도 지대지 gen주치 팬 토와당 연된 대다다 담바 남게 나네 아니 초도 교와레스 초도 교와 임비지 투모 마임바당 때문에 소지 저 미진바를 미진바 교와 교 때문에 소지 저 미진바를 교와 메비치르스 라 아니 가서를 라라 떠바신 게 대달라 아니 저 지내다 매발라 써와 저 미신 같은 저 많이 봐. 그봐. 대충도 봐. 연대 연주치나 연주지den이 견도 치위지 판도 치와지. 연대 대다단 댐바 남게 나네네 초니지 칠 아니 투몸 산제 그 투몸 많이 비 연대 대다단 댐바다. 때문에 쓰시 저 정말 주바 매비치르스. 그봐. Debala Sovala Pan Tovata. Rana Mebala Sovala Pan Modova Sachi do Mijimba Jua Mebichi, do Mijimba Jua Mebichina, that Gujo Shivi Pandi Bare.
It's Jingobu Jin Dibba, Tibidindang, Jindu Matewata. So it just as a wish-fulfilling jewel, this verse which says that, or the part of the verse which says that it's like a gem for the world. This shows the different kinds of qualities of the refuge, how it possesses them and how it operates to provide refuge. Just as a wish-granting jewel in the world provides various sorts of desirable things, similar to that, the Buddha jewel has properties which are similar to a worldly jewel in that it provides all transmigrating beings. Or it is a cause of the virtuous attitudes of transmigrating beings, which induce them to seek higher status, higher rebirth, and the definite goodness of liberation. This quality of the Buddha jewel shows that it has great benefit, and that it's and the need for one to go for refuge to it.
Yes, ma'am. Oh, yeah. That the 중앙 건반 남진안에 초당, 그래서 신도 예바 가외 예비 뒤수 아니 다른 예바 가와데 군조선을 잡순 중이 들어와데 잡순 텐데기 예바 가와데 예비 뒤수 잡순 들어와라 매바 침비 미담바 안에 잠조 양다양도 차와데 담바레스.
And this also, this enumeration of the qualities then indicates why, when one obtains something like this, when you get something this precious, that it's necessary to go for refuge to it with all of the effort that you're able to muster, and to do so, to go for refuge repeatedly over and over again.
예시진의 부채 림부채 레버의 용수 장배 안에 두서지 처마단 자와 처마매바단 자와 안에 처마매바단 최팀배 안에 남바 탐제도 안에 가서래 좀 미니바단 루이 처마단 현라 안에 현라현 시시디 디된라 좀 미니바단 양 가식 쪽라 가식 쪽 가식라 바 미조와 그게 아니 루이 처마 누가 처마단 차와 땜버엔 말.
So where it says that the jewel here is devoid of any stain or devoid of any defilement, this is similar to a wish-granting jewel, which has been freed from all of the defilements of dust and so forth. Similar to that, this kind of wish-granting jewel, the jewel, is able to provide everything that one wishes without any kind of discrimination as to whether or not one has been beneficial towards it or not. It doesn't discriminate in that way. And it's also, it's not in any way deceitful or deceptive, because it provides help without any kind of mistake, unlike things in the world which are beneficial in some ways and not in others. This quality of the jewel then also indicates that it's free of the adventitious defilements.
아니 스바코와다 시완양데라 소위 아니 지바 탐제라 아니 좀 미니비 녀와 매바다 매녀와 매바 인장 아니 잠내 군조선보 등이 잡수 아니 잡수 아니 잠내 군조선보 등이 르지 아니 직대비 살아 소와 아니 잡수 미르바 단디 된 거야 말에 직대비 살아 소와 시바夸다 시와 양알렌 대위 지바소 지바 탐제라 아니 좀 미니바기 녀와 매바 좀 녀바 이장 아니 다 가소래 접수 구조선보 등이 그래.
So these the three jewels then are worthy of refuge, because they are the sole things that are able to provide refuge, and both able and willing to provide refuge, such that one becomes free from all of the sufferings of existence, as well as even the free from the peace of nirvana. This kind of refuge is the unique thing that provides that, whereas things like worldly gods and other kinds of things like that don't provide this, are unable to provide that kind of refuge, or would do so only partially in a biased way or in a mistaken kind of way.
Oh yeah, that thing, any castle. 무엇을 안에 림보체단 자와 댄디가 전도 이신이 누보기 안에 지대나 대비 된 마대와다 대비 된 투마대와다 자와 이신이 누비 지대지 대외태 투마대와다 자와 안에 지대지 견도 주와 구조선 보지 지대지 견도 주와다 최팀배 안에 저와 탐다 온도다 내래라 안에 가서 내리기 삼박교와 교와 내려라 거버 잡아 인장 아니 다 견주 세리 식투 심바리 도와 탐자 온도당 내리 아니 온도당 내려라 거버 잡아다 온도당 내리기 삼박퇴니 교와 그 규체바
고라
안에서
니마소 고라
이신지 너비 지대도 대대 도마 따라 잡아 티신도 그러와 어디 지대기 견디 주와 대단 최tum바 안에 꾸져서 대양 저와 탐제 온도당 내라 안에 텐도니비 안에 삼바기에 그 규시와다 대라 때네 온도당 내라 거봐양
So just like a wish-granting jewel in the world, a wish-granting jewel functions as an ornament for the world. Similarly, this kind of wish-granting jewel, the ultimate refuge here, is such that it provides, it induces sentient beings to give rise to attitudes of seeking out higher rebirth or liberation, and it also sets them into those states of higher rebirth and liberation, and therefore it serves as the sole ultimate refuge for everyone.
견도 배대 최진자의 차차산이 난 네가지 구조선보대 조조대 안에 특징지 구조선 산재 구조 최구조대야 특징지 과람지 되위 최구조 근데 구조대야 안에 특징 파바 또 시작하는 조체대 그렇죠?
So this verse specifies the Buddha as the sole refuge, but one has to also include within these the Dharma refuge and the Sangha refuge of the Arya Sangha as well. Dila dugure. Chirkunjuk dan genun kunjuk. Dila dugure.
네 갑기추 구조 템버세 특징지 구조섬
알레 특징이 군족섬
특징지 특바치 구조섬 세례가나 산재직 바체 그러면 아니 최구조잖아 특징지 특징 파비 기주 관람 근데 구조 대양 안에 특징지 파봐
So what's being explained here is then refuge from the point of view of the Mahayana path. And so here the Buddha is expressed as the unique refuge, and the Dharma is expressed as the true path and true cessations, and the Sangha refers to the host of Aryas.
현대의 구조 선보 대기 안에 연대 단다 산재 구조 그 연대 계당 대마인바 안에 라브링그나라 샤바나신 지지가 안에 구유 연대 송구 연대 투지 연대 틀레지 연대라 소와 안에 삼에 땅에 뒤에 삼에 땅 안에 지초 구조 그 연대다 안에 군디 구조 그 연대 좀 마삼에 와 구조 그 연대 좀 마삼 와 야
So then here are expressed some of the special qualities of the Buddha specifically in the following verses. And then later are also going to be explained some of the qualities of the Dharma jewel and the Sangha jewel. These are also enumerated in the great treatise on the stages of the path. They're explained there as well.
I know what it is. You know, you could just some chat. That tell us just to do tell that teaching we jump to tell and you call them as long as one like Jishing Jabba down. I'll call them as long as one like Jishing Jabba. So, and they say, could you do much in our Mississippi Ninja? Do not tell like giving you, and it Kwana Shebagi. 아니 투바 첨복이 아니 군조스 못해라 여봐 이 칩이 권해 아니 가소리 아니 잠시 주니 오지 참여 권해 아르데 차와 아니 가소리 기도래니 간데지 주나양 아니 군조스 못 체라랑 체냠바기 아르데 차와 질레 로지라 다 잠로세 텐데 질레스 거인 말이.
So then, from the point of view of Mahayana refuge, we've identified generally here the objects of refuge, but in terms of how you go for refuge, the process of going for refuge, then one thinks that these refuges are able to protect me from all of the different kinds of fear and suffering that exist within the three existences, and they're able to provide liberation, freedom from that. And then on top of that, one has to think that all sentient beings are tormented by these refuges also have the power and ability to be able to free all other sentient beings from all of their kinds of suffering. Ninja Kigurwa. Then you have to, on top of that, develop a great compassion, which is unable to bear seeing the various kinds of suffering of other sentient beings. And then,
주스보데 그냥 랑데 아니 동아 대달라 껴비 뉴바 아니 구조스 뭐 대라 여바 이 치비 권에 아니 기도래니 간데지 주나양 아니 라마 공부 주스 뭐 계란라 체냠바기 아니 레데 차비 로지라 아니 잠로스가 말에.
So then you think that recognizing one's own suffering as well as being unable to bear the suffering of all other beings, and thinking that these three jewels have the ability to protect myself and others from all of these kinds of sufferings. They have the power and the compassion to be able to do that. Therefore, and that they understand all of the different kinds of problems and suffering that we're subject to. Then you think, I go for refuge. I will go for refuge to these three precious jewels.
Oh yeah, that is. Then 기타 라브리라 소나 신신 칼라 접수조에 접수 점주기 주 칼라 접수조요 수 아니 접수 예위 군전 수치다의 접수 조와 아니 접수조이 편 접수 점주 납자 다도 시신 자와 시거에 같이 못 차거든.
So it's important to understand these things in detail, as it explained in the Lamrim teachings, stages of the path teachings, which these qualities of the refuge are listed in a set. The Dambo Yul, Yul.
You can't let them just jabba. So you can't let just draw. So
first, Yul. You
you can't let them just draw.
The object based upon which one goes for refuge.
You can't let just draw.
No, the object to first. I'm sorry. The first one is the object to which you go for refuge.
Oh, 주 지다를 just draw.
How you go for refuge.
아니 다도 너도 재산나 아니 주 지다 just draw 되라 아니 마부 태용 거. 되네 just draw 남자 점주 파연.
Oh, then then you have to think of once you've gone for refuge, what you're supposed to do. So you have to understand that, and then the panyeondang. The benefits of going for refuge, as well as the precepts or the things that one has to practice when one has gone for refuge.
Oh yeah, that day and jagi kunjo sum do sum ba shu cha cha right ta yagi de ka so jibo jinani oh yeah sanje chozo kamdan changju tang se ga la ani kunjo sum do jine dung ge na ne kunjo sum ji de da do chen cha re right da ne da ba che sha shan de san da wo ma de kunjo sum ju ji gu de la 다 가르고 릭데로와 이러와 산제 최소 감당 감기 감셔야 돼 이 말이야. 이러와 다 감셔야 돼. 니마 연구하래. 감셔 받더라. 어디 자와도 주고 되라. 이러와 투den지단 전주제 이주치나 조인어. 아니 지제 대신이다 주메인 주메 산제 연단 제위죠. 강나 군조 개와 순조가 전단 스바 남지 윤이도 세대기 다 되기 다 감대 마셔 연구하래. 다 단도 쉬우는 말 가만도.
So what we've done up to this point through these first 22 verses has been an exposition of the first three Vajra subjects, diamond topics, the Buddha, the Dharma, and the Sangha. And then after this comes the exposition in more detail of the element. And that's explained in starts in the 23rd verse, where it says the reality which has defilements and that which is without defilements, the stainless or the qualities of a Buddha which are without defilement, the activities of the victor, and that from which the three good jewels arise. This is the object of those who see the ultimate.
인상 다 공도 시아바기 아니 랑게 톱적이 구조 선보대 토바 제발라 아니 가르고 그래 세나 아니 장랑주라 아니 산제 그 구주롱기 이르기 여와 연장 산제 트마데 제비 셈지 천이지 여와 연장 아니 트마단 제비 셈지 천이 아니 장왕 정거와 연장 트마단 제비 셈지 천이 아니 종지기 남태다기 트마단 제비 셈지 천이 장발라 때네 톱지 저우 아니 군조선보대 토바주와 연장 아니 도진에 담보 셰비 제수 아니 감시하고야 돼 이 말이.
So then the way this is, why this is arranged the way it is that those first three topics, the Buddha, the Dharma, and the community, are expressed as being the objects that one wishes to obtain, the things to be obtained by oneself. And then the element is here explaining reality which is defiled and which needs to be removed, have all of the defilements removed from it, and therefore you have to have the method which is able to remove all of that kind of defilement. So the
감대 지제가 감대로와 정말 지제가 감대 아니 장발라 때네 아니 토지 구슴대 토기요와 인장 아니 내가 얘네 지제가 감대시 이제 산재 공부 토바 집이 년년기 민단에 가상 공도 잡아나 신전이 감대세 감디 정말 정말 제백이 현직 체전되라 안에 된다 창주당 연대당 틀려서 보지마 두선 거래.
So then the fourth topic, Vajra topic, the element, is referring then to the reality which is still has stains or still is defiled nature of things. And this element or this reality which still possesses defilements needs to be purified by means of the method which is enumerated in the following three topics: the awakening, and bodhi, and so forth. In the rest of the topics, and by employing that kind of method, it serves as the agent which purifies the defilements from that nature. We'll stop there today.
이당 고로 만자면 달라 강이야다